Hey guys, Delta here, and I'm back with another Star Wars Battlefront video to talk about the February update, run through the patch notes, talk about some of the changes that have been made, because I've been playing for a couple days now, and have gotten to try out some of the stuff that they've changed. The big one, obviously by the title of the video, and because we're watching some Fighter Squadron gameplay right now, the A-Wing has finally been nerfed. It's still a very good ship to use, but it feels more even now. The TIEs, both interceptors and fighters, actually have a chance against the Rebels because the hitbox has been increased for the A-Wing, and it also properly takes damage when you activate the shield and try and collide with AT-STs, because that was a little exploit people used. So it's not as overpowered. Of course, it's still, it's still got good weapons, it still moves around very quickly, but that hitbox is much bigger, even though the ship is small. Because that was the problem. It was hard to take A-Wings down before. It was really difficult. Everyone was complaining about it for a very long time. We finally got it patched in, so thank God for that. That's sort of the big one. Otherwise, I'm going to jump back to the top of the patch notes here, which are available on the Star Wars Battlefront forums, the official forums. And there's been a lot of tweaks made to the weapons. In the January update, they nerfed a lot of stuff. Like, everything got toned down considerably. A lot of it to the point where it just wasn't usable anymore. So, DICE has come back in and buffed a lot of these star cards and weapons to sort of even things out a bit. So, the bowcaster has received a buff. Explosion damage has been increased slightly per projectile, as has the explosion radius. And the full charge direct hit damage has been increased. And normal direct hit damage has also been increased. I used the bowcaster a bit earlier today. It still feels pretty weak to me. I was not enjoying it. I mean, it was ridiculously overpowered before. It's more usable than it was before this patch, but it still feels incredibly weak, and I don't think I'm going to be using it personally. I wouldn't worry too much about jump casting becoming an issue again. The barrage also received an increased damage, went from 50 to 55. The cooldown was reduced. And the first volley of grenades no longer disappear if the user uses their refresh power-up and fires a second volley. So I guess that was a glitch that was in there. I had never seen that because I stopped using Barrage when they nerfed it into Oblivion. I haven't used it since this February update, so I don't know how much better it is. I've seen more people using it, and I've been killed by it a couple times. So it looks like that's back to being usable and effective. The homing shot is something I have used. The lock time was decreased from 1.5 seconds to 1.2. And that makes a huge difference. It's not the overpowered, like the insanely overpowered star card it was before, because that thing was nuts. Like, I didn't use it for a long time, and then I caved and tried it out back in December and was like, oh my god, what is going on? But it feels usable now. It feels totally usable. It feels much more balanced. I think they found the sweet spot for that star card right now, and I'm pretty happy with how that feels. The ion torpedo has been tweaked as well. I haven't tried that out. I'm just reading this now. The speed of the projectile has been increased, as has the turning angle. So hey, that's gonna change things for hitting air vehicles. So I've never really tried using the ion torpedo against air vehicles. I mean, I've done it a couple times, but yeah, I guess it just never locked on quickly enough to work. And hopefully that increased projectile speed is going to make it more effective there. The pulse rifle. Movement speed has been decreased while aiming. The cycler rifle, movement speed has been increased while aiming, and the bullet speed has been increased from 300 to 450 meters per second. I was actually using the cycler rifle for the first time earlier tonight. I'd never bought it before this patch. It's pretty nice. I like it. It's difficult to use. It's tricky to use because it's a slug thrower. It actually fires bullets and all that stuff. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to use. And this patch seems to have made it more usable, because the bullets do, like, there is drop, and you have to lead your shots and all that good stuff, and if there was a slower speed than what it is now, I don't know how that would have been, how good that would have been. So there have been some changes to the vehicles on top of all those weapon updates. It's mostly just fixing bugs and stuff that wasn't appearing correctly. In terms of just general changes, the pre-round timer is now down to 20 seconds. Some spawns have been tweaked. Health on AT-ATs and Walker Assault. There's a whole list of things that has been changed and improved. A lot of it's smaller tweaks. The big stuff really is all those weapons getting changed. Of course, the new maps and content we talked about in a previous video. And Leia's got a new Endor outfit that's been unlocked by a community challenge. So that's been added in. And I guess another big one is the heroes no longer get stuck in a stunned animation state. That always sucked when you were being Vader or Luke and you just kind of got stun locked. Very, very frustrating. That's why, like, anytime I was Luke and I saw Boba Fett, it was like, oh god, run away, because I'm just going to get destroyed. So that's been cleaned up. And other than that, yeah, just some miscellaneous bug fixes. I'm going to put a link to the patch notes down in the description below so you can check out the whole thing. But that's sort of the rundown of the big stuff in the February update. A lot of good tweaks. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm loving the support DICE is bringing. And of course, next month we get another couple free maps for all the big game types. And another survival mission, I believe. And the first DLC, paid DLC that is, because we've had some free DLC, the Outer Rim expansion, getting maps on Sullust and Tatooine. It looks like Greedo and Nien Nunb are going to be hero characters based on the promo art that's been released. And I can't really say anything more beyond that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more Battlefront content. And of course, I have the Weapon Guide series finally up and running. So I hope you guys enjoy those videos. And I aim to bring a new one out every week. But don't hold me to that because school is going to happen. And there may be weeks I miss here and there. Or I might not get it out the same day every week. But I will try and get it out the same day every week. Yep. That just about does it for this video. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.